Something about him touched hearts all over the world. People who didn't know where India was, didn't know what the issues were. There was something about him that touched their lives.
He was a man of many faces.
He had this tremendously packaged sense of humour and very mischievous and could be very, it sounds awfully disrespectful to say naughty, or wicked.
Leader of 1/5 the world's people.
He had an extraordinary capacity to talk to this massive crowd on a one-to-one basis. I think everybody sitting there thought that Gandhiji was talking to him.
Playful father and friend.
In some of the caricatures, they made him look like a monkey. And grandfather used to laugh at that and sometimes joke and says, "Here's your monkey. I'm coming in now."
Inspiration to future generations.
The Mahatma Gandhi feel non-violence is difficult to carry unless you have some full conviction.
Rebel for a just cause.
He says, yes, we will go to prison. We will take a vow to God that we will go to prison and we will stay there until this law is withdrawn.
And willing martyr for his country.
And he even said to one of his associates that I shall die at the hands of an assassin. And when I do, please remember that if I accept that bullet courageously with the name of God on my lips, only then believe that I was a true Mahatma.
There is an unalterable law governing everything and every being that exists or lives. I may not deny the law or the lawgiver because I know so little about it or him. God, to be God, must rule the heart and transform it. It is proved in the transformed conduct and character of those who have felt the real presence of God within.
Born into an ancient and mystical land, Mohandas K. Gandhi saw his life as a search for ultimate truths, constantly evolving, seeking alternate ways of thinking and living. He called his autobiography the story of my experiments with truth. His long journey of self-transformation began in 1869 from this middle-class house in the Indian port city of Porbandar. From his earliest days, Gandhi was stirred by a role model of extraordinary discipline and devotion. Deeply religious, his mother was given to frequent and extended episodes of fasting. Once, in the rainy season, she vowed not to eat until the sun shone.
Poor Gandhi and the other members of the family would constantly be looking out of the window because they wanted their mother to eat because she was starving. And she said, "Don't worry about me, I'm perfectly fine. If God doesn't want me to eat today, I shan't eat."
Gandhi revered his mother for her saintliness, but was not yet ready to follow her example. The youngest of 4 children, he indulged in childish pastimes, stealing change to buy cigarettes. Fearful of his stern father, a prominent local politician, he nervously confessed to the petty theft.
Instead of punishing his son, he embraced him for having the courage to say the truth and to confess. And both of them cried. And grandfather writes in his biography that it was like washing away the impurities, the tears that both of them shed. But when you have this kind of discipline through love, it builds the humanity within you. And I think that's what happened with Gandhi.
In keeping with Hindu tradition, at age 13, Gandhi was married to a young girl of the same age. Initially, he was a jealous and possessive husband. At age 16, he faced his first great conflict between duty and desire. One night, while nursing his sick father, he slipped upstairs to share his wife's bed.
At this moment, his father died. The servant comes to him and says, "Your father is gone." Gandhi says his first impulse was, "My God, what have I done?" For all of his life, he says, he refers back to that incident when he deserted his father, when he did not fulfill his duty, his responsibility to his parent. And that became the basis of much of his sense of duty and responsibility, that he must be the son of all society. He must be the diligent and dutiful person serving humankind.
At age 17, Gandhi left his wife and family behind to attend law school in London. Immensely shy and naive, he found the bustle of the big city thoroughly intimidating.
He's unaware of things like elevators, so he walks into what he thinks is a room in the hotel, and suddenly the room is moving, and he's frightened to the thought he's going up. Here he's on an elevator. The door is open, and he can't conceive of it.
For a time, his highest ambition was to become an English gentleman. He sported a top hat and silver-tipped cane, took lessons in dancing, violin, and French. But no superficial skill could hide his inexperience and insecurity. Even after obtaining a law degree, he doubted his ability to practice, later writing, "There was no end to my helplessness and fear."
He goes to India, takes up his first case, and finds that when in the court of law, he simply is not able to open his mouth before the judge. He froze. And he was deeply distressed by it.
Humiliated, he began searching for an escape. Salvation came in the form of a job offer from South Africa.
As he said, "It was in that God-forsaken country that I found my God."
Just days after arriving in his new country, Gandhi experienced an epiphany. Unaware of discrimination against Indians in British-run South Africa, he innocently booked first-class passage on a train to Pretoria.
A white passenger spots him, complains to the conductor, and insists that he be placed in a third-class compartment, even though he has the first-class ticket. Gandhi resists. At the first major stop, Pietermaritzburg, he's thrown off the train, and I mean thrown brutally off the train by the conductor.
That humiliation was really what sparked off his desire for change, and he spent the whole night sitting on the platform wondering how to get justice.
Gandhi later described that long, shivering winter night as the most creative experience of his life. He considered returning to India and rejected it as an act of cowardice. He considered accepting the discrimination, but everything in him rebelled against submitting. He considered physically attacking his oppressors and gave that up as impractical. There was only one choice left: to stay and resist. The very next day he boarded another train. The next week he organized a meeting of Indian immigrants. In his 24th year, Gandhi's concerns had grown beyond himself to encompass a greater cause.
This made him feel that he had a destiny, that he had to stay, he had to fight for the rights of his people and eventually for the rights of all black people. Now that, I think, was really the beginning of the Mahatma, where Mohandas Gandhi really begins to emerge as a Mahatma, a great soul.